Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about what if there was no Jedi or Sith, like, in Star Wars. I mean, I've heard rumors, and this is rumors, but I thought this would be kind of like a neat idea to make a video out of. Like, what would Star Wars look like without Jedi or Sith? Because I've heard that they're not going to, they're not planning on making any Star Wars movies that has Jedi or Sith after Episode 9, which the Sith, as long as there's a dark side group that replaces the Sith, kind of like how the Knights of Ren is doing in this new trilogy, even though we've seen hints of them in The Force Awakens, and we didn't get them at all in the Last Jedi. They are replacements for the Sith practically, and I'm okay with that. So, but that's not exactly the point, because for us, both the Jedi and the Sith were kind of introduced at the same time. Yes, when we first got introduced to Darth Vader in A New Hope, and keep in mind, A New Hope was the very first Star Wars movie out of the entire Star Wars movies. We did not know what the Sith were, per se. It wasn't up until The Phantom Menace, which came out in 1999, which was like, what, 30? No. 22 years after the release of A New Hope, that we were introduced to the Sith. Like, in terms of the name, was the Sith are evil Jedi, if you don't know what they are, and I apologize for the uh, video not being the best quality, but you know, I do what I do, right? But practically, if it wasn't for us seeing Darth Vader fighting Luke or Obi-Wan or Yoda training Luke, then, or if we wouldn't, Star Wars wouldn't be as cool as it is today. The Star Wars prequels, as cringy as they might be, which is less than the new trilogy, to be honest. Yet, some parts of the prequels were cringy. But there were also some other parts of the prequels that were good. And the parts that I'm referring to were cool. In this instance, pertain to Jedi. Like, for example, the final fight for Revenge of the Sith. As sad as this thing was, Order 66 was had Jedi. When Mace Windu and the three other Jedi went to arrest Darth Sidious, was ended up being the Emperor. Uh, what else? The Geonosis battle, when all the Jedi were in the arena. And the Duel of the Fates fight, which is the Qui-Gon versus Obi-Wan. And this is not me even mentioning some of the awesome fights in Rebels and Clone Wars that had to do with the Jedi. But without Jedi or Sith, none of those cool scenes I'm specifically referring to / implying as well would not have existed. And yeah, Attack of the Clones, I've always said, is my least favorite Star Wars movie in the prequels. I still stand by that. But the Geonosis battle, where all the Jedi fought alongside each other, that is definitely one of the redeeming qualities, I'll say, that Attack of the Clone has. With as much cringe-worthy stuff that movie had, was a redeeming factor for me in the movie. But I do like George Lucas like overall plot for Attack of the Clones. Just out of the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones is my least favorite Star Wars movie of the prequels. So Rogue One easily got away with it. I mean, could have easily got away with it because it was kind of like a prequel to A New Hope. It's set before A New Hope, so it could have gotten away without any Jedi or Sith or laser swords. Now, yeah, granted that they did use Darth Vader like 3-4 times in the movie, and yes, the last part did have Darth Vader swinging his lightsabers around, which enhanced the movie to be even greater than it would otherwise. But let's be honest. Even though that scene was pretty cool, the last scene with Darth Vader, whatever it was like a last minute thing. It wasn't exactly needed per se, but it was still awesome. It was an awesome addition. But in terms of Rogue One, in terms of like the story for the movie, I don't think that it was needed exactly for Darth Vader to swing his lightsabers around. I mean, I might get a lot of hate, but I'll kind of still stand by that, and I respect you guys if you disagree with me or not, or agree with me on this. Your opinions are your opinions, that's mine, and it's not my place to call you guys any names if you oppose my opinions. But regardless, if you found that scene necessary or not to serve the overall story in Rogue One, that scene for Darth Vader alone was pretty badass and made me even more scared of Darth Vader. And yeah, granted that Solo Star Wars Story had Darth Maul for like 20-30 seconds, igniting his lightsaber. Even though, to be honest, unlike with Darth Vader, I don't feel like Darth Maul served the story for Solo's Star Wars Story. Which I'm not saying he was a bad addition, just I don't see Darth Maul. I personally don't see how Darth Maul served the story for Solo a Star Wars Story. You know, I mean, they could have had Jabba the Hutt, and that would have made more sense, and I would have been having a totally different argument. But because that would kind of show the beginning of like hints that, oh my god, maybe this is where it all began with Han Solo owing Jabba money in A New Hope. But let's be real, without the Jedi and the Sith, the prequels and the original trilogy, the Clone Wars, and Rebels, as awesome as they wouldn't be as awesome without both groups and the lightsabers. Now, do I see every Star Wars movie in the future having Jedi, Sith, or lightsaber? Or having some Force user being in Star Wars? No. In like each Star Wars movie? No. Let's be real. Not in every Star Wars movie. I mean, look, we got Mandalorian. I mean, we could easily get like Ahsoka or Ezra or a few Jedi slash Sith or Great Jedi popping in here and there in the Mandalorian show that is based around bounty hunters. It's the bounty hunter show for Star Wars. But I don't feel like every Star Wars movie does not need a Jedi or a Sith or a Force user. Not every. I'll give Lucasfilms that. But let's say, because I wouldn't be surprised if they did this, but let's say if they say, okay, buy Jedi, buy Sith, buy any religion that relates to Jedi and Sith, we're going to cut out the Force in general. Yeah, the Star Wars franchise won't last long after that. It needs the Jedi. It needs some sort of dark side Force using group, to balance Jedi out. In at least some of the movies. I'm not saying all. Some, what I can see benefiting the stories, potential stories, if the Jedi are heavily used. Some, yeah, might be like side characters. But there are also some where, like I said, I can see. Oh, what I'm trying to say, because I'm having trouble finding examples to prove my case. The Star Wars franchise would not last long. Or, the Star Wars franchise wouldn't be as cool or badass or as popular if it didn't have the Jedi or introduce the Sith as like the dark side or as the evil Jedi. If they weren't introduced, if they wouldn't be as badass without them. Now, like I said, some Star Wars movies in the future can stand on its own with Jedi being like in the main front, kind of like with the prequels, or having them being kind of like side characters, or even some, not all but some, not having any Force users in general. And I gotta say, I went to see Solo Star Wars Story. I enjoyed myself. I'm not gonna say it's the perfect Star Wars movie. It's not one of the better Star Wars movies, but it would have been a pretty decent movie, and I would have enjoyed it 100%. I won't say 100% because I still have problems. I also have this one thing I'm going to complain about, but I enjoyed it. I had fun watching the movie. It was kind of cliche for a Star Wars movie. It wasn't my favorite. It was my least favorite. My least favorite is the holiday special. But if they took out 3 in Solo Star Wars Story, the movie would have been a whole lot better because that character was a pain in the ass, to be honest. She was annoying. Even my sister, who is not, I can't count her as a Star Wars fan, but more of a casual fan. Unlike me, and some of you guys who are hardcore Star Wars fans. But, assuming these, rumors are true, that Lucasfilms is planning not to have any more Jedi, Sith, or dark side Force using group, light side Force using group, in their future movies after The Rise of Skywalker, then I can't see the Star Wars franchise surviving in popularity. Because Lucasfilms is already turning fans off by bashing fans who dislike their product. Hold on. Sorry, my cat was scratching. But Lucasfilms is already pushing their customers away by bashing fans who dislikes their product, who gives criticism to their products. So, if these rumors are true, then regardless on which side you're on in this little fan feud that has been going on, since the Last Jedi, like, oh, if you like, if you, if you like a, if you dislike the Last Jedi, you're sexist, blah 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 blah, racist, overweight, race, white man, blah blah blah, like some of the insults has been thrown out. Or on the opposite side, where you like the Last Jedi, or pretty much, long story short, if you like the Last Jedi or dislike the Last Jedi, because there's been kind of a feud ever since the Last Jedi. And the fandom, I can admit, has been kinda toxic since then. And that's only because most of the people that it's been defending The Last Jedi kind of been bashing other fans, even people at Lucasfilm's been doing this, bashing some fans who dislike The Last Jedi and Solo Star Wars Story, which pisses a lot of people off, which will make them go on YouTube to defend themselves. And they have every right to defend themselves because they technically been attacked, so they pretty much defend themselves. I mean, Geeks and Gamers, Mindless Entertainment, that Star Wars Girl, Ivor and Taka, D-Day Cobra, Mecha Random, Wish Upon a Star, Chili from Wish Upon a Star. Those 7, and Mark with the Gospel of the Sea. Those like 8, 7 YouTubers are my favorite YouTubers in the fandom menaces. Some Star Wars fans have been calling the fans. And was this kind of like, to put it in the best terms as I can, is just imagine Kathleen Kennedy, because a lot of people dislike Kathleen Kennedy, as the Emperor. And the fandom menace is kind of like the rebellion against the Empire. It's kind of like that. But Lucasfilm has already pushed some fans away by bashing them for just disliking The Last Jedi and Solo, and any other projects that they had that fans might dislike. So, totally leaving Jedi, Sith, or like any religion that serves the light side and the dark side of or dark side of the Force behind, and try and focus on any other characters that are not Force sensitive only, will be like a major turnoff to fans who likes The Last Jedi or dislike The Last Jedi. I mean, you gotta admit it. I mean, and this is not, and I'm not trying to be negative or toxic in this video. This is just me telling you guys my opinion, how I feel. And yeah, you can say this. Some things I mentioned in here in this video has been toxic, or not toxic, but negative. But at least in my intentions of making this video, I'm just going off. Okay, I've heard a rumor. I'm interested in making a video saying my opinion about it in the least negative way possible. Just sharing my thoughts and stuff like that. I mean, there wasn't any negative intent behind this. Long story short is, and this is me saying this with as much respect as possible. If Lucasfilms decides to, like I said, remove the two religions that serves the light and the dark side of the Force, or in the middle, as I'm implying Great Jedi, then with all due respect, Lucasfilms, you would be making a stupid move. So like I said in this video, I can see you guys getting away with some of the movies not having any Force users, but you guys also have some of your Star Wars movies having Force users, whether they play the side act per se or the front lines, like how the Jedi were in the front lines in the prequels. And yes, the Jedi weren't heavy-handy in the original trilogy, because the only Jedi that was introduced was Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Luke. Luke ended up being a Jedi towards the end of, like, in Return of the Jedi. But yeah, but at least the Jedi were still there. They weren't as heavy in into the story per se as, like I said, the Jedi of the prequels. But still, they were there, and you see how much success that's been. And you see how much success, even though there's been some, yeah, has been flaws in the original 6 movies, but prequels, sequels, prequels, original trilogy. One, heavy-handed on like the Jedi being the lead. Two, having the Jedi kind of be in a way like side characters. You see how that turned out. And yes, like I said, Solo Star Wars Story was a decent movie. It was a fun movie. Didn't, with the exception of Darth Maul, which I'm not even going to count really as a Sith, because technically by this time he's not even a Sith. Go watch the Clone Wars and Rebels. You'll understand where I'm coming from. It was a fun movie, and I didn't feel the need that I needed the Sith or the Jedi or any Force sensitive beings in there, to be honest. But yeah, that's how I feel. I can see the Star Wars franchise surviving that long if Lucasfilms actually does plan to make their movies, future movies after the Rise of Skywalker, without any Jedi or any Sith or any dark side users, light side users, or I'm gonna make a gray Jedi reference here, gray users. So leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys soon. And may the Force be with you.